Hey guys, this is another video for my Building a Bug Out Bag video series. As a lot of you know, I'm doing a redesign of my current bug out bag, and for my new one I have everything organized into different compartments. So today I'd like to talk over the money and barter items that I'm going to be including in my new bug out bag. So the first thing to discuss is cash. So in an emergency situation, I'm going to want to have a fair amount of cash on me. I'm not going to want to be able to rely just on Visa or MasterCard or debit or credit cards. I'm going to want to have cash to purchase things to barter with. So for the past couple of years, my wife and I have been following Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover book, and it's all about saving, paying off debt. And one of the first items that he discusses is saving $1,000 cash for an emergency situation. So a couple years ago we did that, and we saved up $1,000, and we keep this in a safe for an emergency situation. So if we have car problems and we can't get to a bank and something like that. So for now, instead of having it in the safe, I'm going to include this in my bug out bag. So I don't just have $100 bills in here. I wanted to have a variety of different bills. So I'll show you what I have. I vacuum sealed it to kind of discourage me from breaking into it every once in a while. Okay, so in this, there's $1,000 here. So I have 20 $1 bills. I should have 6 $5 bills. I have 5 $10 bills. There should be 10 $20 bills, 4 $50 bills, and 5 $100 bills. So I think this could get me by for a little bit. I can do a lot of different things with that amount of cash. So that is something I want to have included in my bug out bag instead of having it in my safe. So now let's talk about the scenario if there is an economic collapse. So in that case, I'm going to want this. This is going to be toilet paper. It's going to be tinder. It won't be worth anything. So I want to be prepared for that scenario. So I want to have something that's going to have some kind of value after an economic collapse that I could use for trading. So in that scenario, I want to have some precious metals. The Analytical Survival, he has 5 silver coins in his bug out bag. So I'm thinking of having the same in mine. I still haven't decided whether I want to go with 5 or 4 just due to weight issues, because these are about 1 ounce each. So in this scenario I have 3 different American Eagle coins, and I have 2 Canadians. So I just wanted to have some kind of silver on me. I didn't want to include any kind of gold because gold's a lot more expensive than any of this right now, and in an emergency situation I imagine most people aren't going to know what the spot price of gold is for that particular moment. So this is a little bit lesser value, but it might be a little bit easier to trade, I would think. So I have 5 included over here. So next, if someone doesn't want to have money, if they don't want to have precious metals, what are they going to want to have? So I'm going to try to capitalize on people's obsessions and addictions. So first thing I thought of was to include cigarettes. They don't weigh anything, and a lot of people are addicted to them. I don't smoke. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. So this is actually the first time I've purchased some. But I wanted to include these because they're lightweight, and people are addicted to them. So I think I might be able to trade these in an emergency situation. Lastly, another thing that people have an addiction to that I might be able to use for barter is booze. Now I don't want to have these large size bottles of booze. They're way too heavy. I wouldn't want to be lugging this around in my bug out bag. So I had to figure out an alternative for that. So instead I wanted to go with something small and something plastic, because the glass is going to be, the liquid itself is going to be heavy enough. So I didn't want to have a glass bottle. So what I did is I went to the liquor store and I picked up some of these little small bottles of, this is Maker's Mark. I might as well get something good. So these are, how many ounces? 50 milliliters. So I got 3 of these for my bug out bag. So those are another item that I could possibly use for bartering, for trading with. And then lastly, I'm not sure if I'm going to include this, was just having some quarters with me. I don't even know if they have payphones anymore, but I imagine in some public parts of town there might be some. So I'm debating whether to have, this is $2 worth of quarters. So for this, since a lot of this is kind of what if scenarios, I don't know if I'm going to trade these kind of items. I guess I could also use this for for teething with my baby, or maybe if I want to have some too. Although I imagine I'm not going to be drinking too much. So I want to make sure everything is in a particular weight. So let's put some of this on the scale and see what we're looking at. So first let's put all the cash on there. Let me start this over. Okay, so for cash, what are we looking at? Okay, so we got about, I don't know, 1.8 ounces. All right, let's add the cigarettes. These are so light, it's probably not going to increase it too much. All right, so 3.7, 3.5. Next, let's add the maker's mark. Okay, so 10.4. Those are fairly heavy, so I imagine it's going to increase it a little bit. I'm going to put these 5 silver coins up there. So now we're looking at right at 1 pound, and if I imagine if I put this, it's going to put it up a couple ounces. Yeah, so 1 pound, 1.8 ounces. So I'm not sure. Maybe I want to not have. Maybe I want to go with 4 and try to keep it up to a pound. Let's see. Yeah, so that's about right at 1 pound. So I'm not sure, but these are the basic items that I've kind of been thinking about having for my money and barter items. As usual, if you have any other ideas for what I could do as far as having money, currency, things for trade, I'd like to hear any of that in the comments. So that's about it. That's what I have. So thanks for supporting the channel. Please feel free to leave constructive comments. And again, this is the money and barter items for my new bug out bag. Have a good day. Bye.